now on a digital front. UN human rights experts say they're alarmed by the severe clampdown on information within Russia. The Echo of Moscow radio network was one of the few independent media outlets left in Russia until it was taken off the air last week. Karina Orlova was one of its correspondents, and she joins me now live from Washington. Karina, thanks for being with us. So what are ordinary Russians exposed to on their TVs, as they listen to their radios? People have the internet now, so presumably they're able to access independent news platforms. But by and large, ordinary Russians, what kind of info are they getting?
Well, hi, thanks for having me. So unfortunately, they hear only the propaganda. It's everything was shut down that could be shut down. Some Western media, like BBC, Russian service, Deutsche Welle, and others, they had to stop their operations in Russia in fear for prosecution of their journalists, because now you can be imprisoned in Russia up to 15 years for spreading so-called fakes about the war, which you can not even call a war. It is officially a special military operation. So that's also a fake. And this law has a retroactive action. So it could and will be applied to everything that you have said before this, law. So yeah, it's all total propaganda, but the internet still works. Also, there are some problems with that too, and Russians can seek information, and they do. They do find information, for instance, about economic hardship and about ruble falling down, and they went to the ATMs massively, and now there are huge lines. People stand in line for up to 6 hours to buy a ticket on Turkish Airlines. You cannot do that online.
Karina, I'm gonna just jump in just in case our viewers are wondering what they're hearing here. This is an air raid siren that is going off right now, and this is signaling that the emergency is over. Is that right? Okay, I just wanted our viewers to not worry too much that there was an air raid siren going off and that I was still seated here in front of the camera. But let me ask you a little bit about sort of the younger crowd that has access to the internet. I mean, we've heard even from prominent Russian sports people and actors and public figures who've spoken out against this war on Ukraine. Is that getting through at all inside Russia?
Well, I think that the more people suffer economically, the more they will speak, because in the first days of the war, the vast majority of Russians were supportive of Putin and supportive of this war, so they couldn't care less about the actual war. Now that ruble has fallen twice, right? So now costs half as much as it was, and it will keep going down inevitably. And now that all the major American and European companies have left Russia, now people start to realize that something is really off. And that's when you can hear this prominent Russian propagandist, actually Vladimir Solovyov. He's one of the top Russian TV anchors, and his two villas in Italy have been seized by Italian authorities, and he's been fully sanctioned. And now he's apparently expressing some anger or some frustration over what's going on. But again, he only cares about it because he personally was targeted and financially, and he's in a hard place right now. And I think that that's what's going to push Russians to protest.
Sure. So let's talk about these protests, because these sanctions are obviously hitting rich Russians, but they're hitting ordinary Russians as well. And the way the Kremlin is framing it is, look, here's another Western attack on ordinary Russian people. But are they able to make the distinction that what Western countries are doing right now is implementing these economic sanctions to pressure Russia into retreating militarily from Ukraine? Are they making that distinction?
Well, I think they are and they're not. Of course, Russia is telling them that it's the West that is attacking Russia, of course. But when it is so bad, and it will be really soon, right? The sanctions are not only targeting rich Russians, because For instance, a Russian automaker, car maker, had to stop production because there are no more details, foreign parts that they use. So, and that's how it works. And also the prices are going up, and that affects everybody, especially lower middle class, because for them it's a it's a drastic increase in prices. So it's not only for the rich Russians. I'd say that rich Russians of course suffer, but at least they still have some money. The lower middle class, they don't have any savings or anything. So the sanctions will target them a little bit later, and when it is really bad, I think people, I'm sure, as it always happened in Russia, people will not care about who caused them. They will certainly blame the government, which is the right thing to do.
Karina Orlova, thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate your take and your analysis on this breaking news story. Thank you. Now more.